So it is obviously November 2nd.
It is.
It is. I know that we're not doing NaNoWriMo, but is anybody in your world at all excited about the world of?
Yeah, the Story Studio on our social page. We have like a Facebook group. A lot of
Okay.
people were chatting about that. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I think a decent number. I think a lot of our students do it, and they are hosting. Shout out for Story Studio. They're hosting like Saturday morning NaNoWriMo virtual write-ins.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'll try to get the link to that, but that's something to check out. People can check out as well. What about you?
Nice.
Do you know? I know you often just do some of the virtual write-ins.
Yeah, I just like their virtual write-ins. So like they're doing
Yeah.
I like them, except for now that I have like a different day job. So I started, the reason that you and I are like here is because we were obviously talking about it, but when they did it back in April for Camp Nano, that's what I was
Yeah.
that's what I was all about. But I don't do the full on. It's like it's so big. Ah!
Yeah, it's huge. I mean,
Yeah.
I did it. So the first novel that I wrote, that's how I started it. Is I did
Yeah.
NaNoWriMo. So it is. I think if you're in that zone, it can be a really big boost, and it was helpful for me because I was like, okay, I'm going to hit this word count. And then I did it and I hit the word count at the end of the month. And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to do this again. And I think I divided it up. And I was
Nice.
like, so I was like, instead of 1 month, I'll do it in 2 months. And, because you're already in that brain place. So it was great. I find it very helpful. Again, you have to really be in that mode, but
Yeah, in the zone for sure.
yeah.
Well, I feel like I mean, we're not going to change I know that there's a lot of folks out there specifically in like WriterTube and like, I'm very much a voyeur of YouTube. And there's a lot of people like
binoculars.
like constantly, but a lot of people are like changing their content to fit for Nano. So we're not going to be doing that. But if anybody is doing Nano and just wants to silence us and like write for whatever your word count is for the evening, we're just happy to be like your partners in crime. So
absolutely, yeah. And this is just like a fun one. It's chill. It's for everybody. A lot of people just maybe are feeling really anxious right now and just need a place to come and hang out and write and laugh and we'll try to be funny.
Yeah, a bunch of goofs.
It's a stretch.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best. So I think that we should just get into it. And I know there's a lot of folks here. I mean, Ursula, Alice, we've got Abigail here as well. Like a lot of people know our structure already, but you want to break it down for everybody just in case they're watching later?
Yeah, absolutely. And welcome to everybody. It looks like we got a nice little crowd tonight. So we are going to do 3 writing sprints, a 5-minute, a 10-minute, and a 15. We'll give you a prompt for each of the sprints, and we'll give you a little timer on the screen for a countdown. You can use the prompts any way you want to. You can throw them out. You can use, part of them. You can change them up, or you can just use them as is. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I've got this timer ready to roll. So we got 5, 10, and 15.
Yep.
Description of the prompt and our theme is always in the description box below. If for whatever reason you jump in, Jen will shout them out every time.
I will.
But they're there.
Find it. After I said that. Hold up. So our theme tonight is doom.
Dun dun dun.
Because it feels a little doomsy, a little doomsday, a little dooms week.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know. I feel like the word doom, though, is at least a little fun to say, even if it's a horrible thing.
You got Temple of Doom, which is a super fun movie. Yeah, that I know that everyone hates on it, but that's my favorite.
No.
It is.
No. I feel like you're a rebel, and I like that about you.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's the middle child, and I myself am the middle child.
Oh, you were like relatable.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel you, Temple of Doom. Nobody likes you. I like you.
Well, though, isn't it true? Like Kate Capshaw, that is where they met, and I know everybody gave her flack because Marion was so amazing in the first one, and then there's a lot of and then there's a lot of dad stuff in the third one, and poor, oh my God, I just forgot her name. I said it out loud.
Kate
Capshaw. Yeah. But she like revolutionized Steven Spielberg's voice. Like if it wasn't for her, he would not have made Schindler's List. Like she was the one that like pushed it for him.
For real?
Yeah, according to that one HBO documentary. So everybody like craps on her because she's very like, she's a lot. Like she's like, whoa, you're a lot in this movie.
Well, that's what I like. I think that's what I liked about it. It was just, it felt so like exotic and like I don't know. It felt so adventurous. They all do though. I don't know. I love them all. But for some reason that one was always kind of like I don't know.
Yeah. So we don't have any Indiana Jones prompts, but the Doom really says.
I'm really bummed now. All right. Okay.
Are we?
We're gonna stop talking.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So here is your first prompt for today. This is the 5-minute one. It is, what's one thing you can't avoid today and why? What's one thing you can't avoid today and why?
On your marks, get set, and write. Okay. Thank you so much, little timer, for being so loud. But I needed it. I'm just going to finish up real fast if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it.
How did it go for you? Did you, the 5-minute one is always just getting the cobwebs out.
Yeah, totally. I just kind of just was like, writing whatever in my head. But one of my goals is to really just stick with it and not get distracted. And, and so I feel like I achieved that for a whole 5 minutes. So
Nice.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah, low barrier of entry, right? We always talk about it. If we could do it for 5 minutes.
Oh, man. That's right. My distractions are just so bad. And I do these workouts every day. And, but the problem is, like, I'll do like half of it, or I'll do like all of it but 5 minutes. And I'm like, just finish it. Like, if you did all of it except for the last 5 minutes, like, why can you not do the last 5 minutes? It's weird.
Well, I know that, Alice wrote up here that she's a nano rebel. Is there a little bit of a rebellion in you? I feel like, is that what it is?
Alice, like, yeah, I'm like, right, tell me what to do.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do, self.
Virtual yoga.
Yeah.
Be all peaceful, make me finish you.
But you did it, 5 minutes. I think that's one of the things too, where I know like something like NaNoWriMo or, those giant goals sometimes can get overwhelming. So 5 minutes is a great place to start, especially when we're just starting. We're going to be here for about an hour, under an hour. Start small, build it up. Ursula got 200 words.
Nice.
Yeah. So awesome. I love that both Ursula and Alice are already doing nano. They already did their nano and they're back for more. I mean, I feel like you gold stars all around.
I think sometimes when people, when they get into that, like that big chunk writing mode, like they just, keep going. Like, you get used to it, and then it becomes like a thing that you need to do every day.
Just ride that momentum.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I watch a bunch of artists sometimes on YouTube again, because I'm always on YouTube just watching. And one of them said that, and I know this was like this for stand-up for me as well. If you don't do it a day, if it's like a daily practice, you feel like you haven't done it in years. Like there's this idea of like just doing it every day. You get like that muscle, and then you start to need it. You start to need it in your routine. So. Yeah.
I really agree with that. Yeah. I hear a lot of writers, especially when they're working on a bigger project, they're like, I have to do it every single day, or you just lose the thread. Yeah.
Yeah. But I always think like I feel like we're in that in between where, hey, 5 minutes is okay. Yeah. And also if you're, doing an Alice and an Ursula as well, like you can also just be cranking in thousands of words as well. Yeah.
And doing it every day doesn't always mean like you're sitting there working for hours every day. Like sometimes it just means checking in every day, making notes, just like keeping it fresh in your head.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, for a theme that's very like doom related, we're really keeping this pretty bright, I think.
Keeping it light. Keeping it light. Temple of Doom.
Well, I'm going to get this timer rocking and rolling for the next, which is the 10-minute, if you want to tackle the prompt for all of them.
Here is our prompt for a 10-minute sprint. Your character receives a note in the mail. Today you are doomed to blank. I'll say it one more time. Your character receives a note in the mail. It says, today you are doomed to blank.
Blank. All right. On your marks. Get set. Right. Okay. Thank you, timer, for doing all you do. I don't know why I'm being
for being you, timer.
Yes, I want that timer to feel like Google Timer is a part of this process as well. How did this go for you? What direction did you take this? And of course, everybody, Alice, Abigail, Ursula, word counts, whatever you want to share. I always ask Jen, but this is an open dialogue. Yeah. What direction did it go?
It's for everyone. So obviously, the sort of obvious line is you were doomed to die, but I was like, don't write that. So I was like, you were doomed to kill. And then I'm like, no, it seems so. I landed on you were doomed to cheat. And then at first I was like, oh, it's somebody like cheating on a significant other type of thing. And then I was like, no, it's like this woman she's in a baking championship. She's been the championship for a long time. And now she's cheating to win the cookie bake-off. So that was really fun just to see that kind of.
I like taking something like Doom, where you're right, like your instincts are like murder, violence, and making it about cookies instead.
Yeah, and the idea that like she's like how like I am cheating, like she had set it up to cheat, but it hasn't happened yet, and so she's like, did somebody must have seen me? Like, what do I do now? Anyway, good stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
I kind of went an Alice route, went with doomed to have an accident.
Oh, that's a good way to do it, yeah.
Yeah, or something like, if it felt like for me, I really had to process this one out. So I should have just went with like, just do the Mad Lib, fill out the word, and go from there. I just made it very tricky for myself. So I felt like the things that I like to watch, like the doomed shows or the movies where people are like stuck in time or like have to repeat themselves, like a Groundhog's Day or like a Palm Springs or like a Live, Die, Repeat. I love those kind of things. So I was thinking like, why do I like those when you're doomed to like stuck, trapped, nothing new, nothing spontaneous, like walls closing in? And I got somewhere. I was a lot of processing though. So a lot of lists. And I got to this story that I really want to flesh out. It's just an outline now, but it's almost like a salon for like going back into your memories, right? So you get this invite, and it's I don't know if it's called Doom or what, but it's basically you go and you can choose a memory, but sometimes your brain will pick another memory for you, and like you go into this salon and you sit down, and it's like you're doomed to remember.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I like this idea of this character, like this older woman who comes, and everybody's like, she comes like an old lady who would try to get her hair done every Sunday, right? And like everyone's like, why does she keep coming back? And I think the reason is, I'm gonna get all upset about it. Like she's like she's going to remember like her worst day. But like it's a torture love, like she accidentally killed her sister, and it's like a punishment thing, but it's like the last time she can see her. So this old lady goes here every day, every week for her entire life, just because she'd be that much closer to her sister. And I'm like, oh my God.
Geez.
I know. I was like, oh no. But like accident. It was like a car accident, I think.
Yeah.
So it's something like this a memory room or something. But I was like, oh God.
So you know what's crazy about that? My grandma is like 93 at this point, and she has told my mom that she will she'll sit in a room. Her memory is starting to go and stuff, but her short-term memory is just not great, but her long-term memory is still really strong, and she'll sit for like hours and just like and she says, my mom, she's remembering.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, are they nice memories? And she's like, not always.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if is that a thing? Like when your life starts to slow down and your body's like starting to slow down, and like, do you go back and like reprocess all of that? It's like, I wonder what that's like for her. It feels very deep, much deeper than like me just sitting down remembering like what happened when I was, like 15 or something.
Yeah, I know, and I'm wondering too if it's like not only is like processing, talking about age and time, but they have this moment of like it is actually like biological. They're thinking at some points of like your brain, like when people have those like life or death moments where like your life flashes before your eyes. I mean, they do say, and I don't even know, I'm no scientist, you guys, but that is your brain trying to give you like these are the reasons you need to stay alive. Like your brain tries to make you live. Yeah, but that idea of of it not being a doomed moment, even if it's pain. Like you're remembering a life that's full, even the horrible parts. I don't know. There's something about that I really like. And I remember when we did this a couple months back, I found this story about a woman who was going through dementia, and she couldn't remember what was happening, and it was sad but beautiful. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because like then now she'll remember, like she'll think that these things are actually happening in her life. So like she'll go back to like when she was like in her early 20s or when she was like first married, you know, or like, you know, sort of during her, you know, different parts of her life and think that she's there.
Yeah. But I just,
that's part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like these ideas. Like as a writer, obviously it's not the same experience as someone going through it, but using that thing of like, almost like a cookie thing as well. Something like doomed, something this theme that seems like so negative or encompassing, like how to sort of flip it and find something else. I just like that. I like that a lot.
That's great.
Are we ready for the big doozy, the 15-minute-er?
Let's do it. All right, guys. This is our last prompt for the night. We're going to do a 15-minute time sprint, and here we go. Write a scene where your character suddenly has the ability to see the future. See, we were talking about the past.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say it one more time. Write a scene where your character suddenly has the ability to see the future.
Okay, 15 minutes on your mark, get set. And also, great job, Jen, for focusing.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. And right. All right, timer, we gotcha. Awesome. Boink.
Nice.
We did it. Allison did say that Alice did have to leave. So I said goodbye to her for all of us. Goodbye, Alice. So what do we think here? 15 minutes? Did you make it? Were you focused throughout? That's okay.
Sorry.
You're like medium focused, mostly sleepy.
I'm like a little bit. Yeah, I got a little bit distracted, but I kind of, I pulled myself back in. So, it ended up being a girl who she thought she was psychic, but it turns out she just witnessed something. Like she
just wasn't.
She just wasn't.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't at all. She's like, yes, I'm psychic. Like I knew this was gonna happen, blah blah. And they're like, yeah, that's not how.
Yeah.
Like you just saw something that everybody was talking
nice. So
about.
you busted some dreams, huh?
Yeah, it kind of just went in some weird directions.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work, but it was fun. It was like fun little
I
what about you?
Sort of had the same thing, kind of. Well, I started out with this sentence that said, when you know how you end, things like counting calories and steps don't really mean shit. And I feel like it was just, I don't know where that sentence came from, but it ended up being this girl who could see her future, but she couldn't see an end. Like she could see her own end, but she never saw a death. Like she never saw it. So she's like, I'm invincible. Okay. Like I'll never die. So she does whatever she wants. Everybody thinks that she's brave. It's very strange. And so she was just, I ended up having her like in a bar talking to this strange man, and he never believed her, but she basically was like some sort of, I don't know if it was supernatural. Like she didn't know what it was either. She's just like, I can't die. I've broken every bone. I've done all these things. I'm aging, but I keep going. So I don't know. So she's like, when I'm 107, I think I'm going to drive a plane into a mountain and see what happens. She's like, you want another shot? That's like how it ends.
That's amazing. How old is she now?
I don't know. Like I couldn't tell. Like because it wasn't like at first I'm like, is she a vampire? Like what's going on? Like is she like?
I love the idea of somebody having that mentality when they're like 28.
Right.
And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna go the way you think.
Right. Because there was this idea, like she was really young. Like she, like her friends were like, how could you go to a, she was like slightly overweight and wearing bikinis and she didn't care. And she's like jumping on a plane and she's like, everybody's like, you're so brave. It's like those things that like you're right. Like young people think it's brave. And the reason she's doing it is because in her brain, she thinks she can't die, but maybe she can.
Yeah, right. She just doesn't see it. Like she's like Miley. She just doesn't get it. She doesn't understand what being clairvoyant really is.
Yeah. She's like, I haven't, and I did have this thing where like the guy asked, well, like, can you see my future? And she's like, that's not how it works. It's only about me, which is very much a young person's attitude. Yeah. It's amazing.
That's funny. I'm actually working on a short story right now that's kind of like that idea of being invincible and like auditioning for like a reality show that's like really brutal, and this sort of idea that like you're just like you can't get hurt, like nothing, that sort of that kind of mentality of that age, which I had for sure, 100%.
Yeah and I think that's youth a bit, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah
and it's sort of necessary because I think you wouldn't do a lot of things without it, because I mean you do see when you get older, like you're not that we're like so old, but it's like it changes in some ways. Like I mean there, I just didn't think that anything that bad was ever going to happen to me at that age.
Yeah.
When I was younger, like I couldn't conceive it.
Yeah. It is interesting though to have a character who is almost like their superpower is like denial and delusion, and it actually works in their favor. You're like, yeah.
And that's what's funny. It's like I think it will work at the beginning, because I think a lot of times that bravado, that bravery can just like push you through.
Yeah.
Other people get out of your way because they don't have it. And it's, other people want to be around it too. But then it's not going to work for that long. Like eventually life's going to get you. We're just talking about America.
Well, I also like the idea too that she mentioned in her story, like she's like that she can get hurt. Like she's like, I broke bones, I've got stitches, so the fact that it's like she isn't untouched and yet she still keeps thinking she
Yeah.
really believes. So like she really believes. Anyway, who knows? But she's an interesting character.
It's her own
I wonder how
cult.
she
Yeah,
would
I love
be
that.
if she's like when 30 years after this, you know, if she's like a cranky vampire.
Right.
What?
Like
Yeah.
you want to see where it, like how this falls apart.
Yeah,
If they finally
yeah.
get it, or if they never do.
Or if they never do. Yeah.
It's like always like I'm invincible.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could live that way, it probably is a better way to live.
Yeah. Well, what's like that documentary Free Solo, which I never watched it, all of it. It's like they just did his brain. Like he was the guy that you can do mountain climbing without any sort of ropes or anything. And they did a brain scan, and he has like a special brain where it's like his fear receptors are just not firing.
Wait, he did mountain climbing with nothing?
It's called Free Solo. Yeah. It's a documentary.
God,
It was like, I think it was pretty big last year or the year before.
That's like my worst. I have a weird thing with heights. I took my kids at the zoo, you know, those like, what do they call it? Like the tram? You like sit in the little thing and it like goes, you know, around. I don't know what it's called. I did not realize that I was having an absolute panic attack. It was really embarrassing, and I was like, because you just fall right off of it, like you just slip right out.
Yeah.
And they were like and I was like, I don't want anybody to move. I don't want everyone to put their hands on the thing. We're just gonna sit here. Don't move.
Your kids are like, wow, this is super fun, Mom.
I know, they were like, what is the matter with you? Like, you're just so freaked out. And I'm just like, just don't move.
This is called fear.
I just was shocked at my own response, but I was like, no.
Yeah, it happens though. I remember going to like a basketball game. It wasn't the Bulls, but it was with my mom, and it was in the nosebleed seats. I mean, like we were, we did not spend money on these tickets, right? And she like got the worst vertigo. She had to like sit down. Like she was walking up on the stairs, and she was like, oh, and that's never happened to her. It just hit her all at once, and we won. It might have been a good con because we got much better seats.
They're like, come down here, ma'am.
Yeah. Stop scaring everyone.
I bungee jumps. I used to go cliff jumping.
Yeah.
Like when I was an idiot.
Yeah.
Like at 16. So I mean, it's like something changed.
Yeah, they say
like,
it's your inner ear. Yeah. Something about your inner ear changed when you're older. That's why a lot of people can't go on roller coasters and stuff. Your inner ear changes.
Yeah. And you see under the veil of life, and you know what's in there. You're like, no, thank you.
I see the bottom rising up.
I see that I can easily fall off this. I am not invincible.
Oh, well, we did it, you guys. We got it. We did the writing. We did the 3 prompts, and we had some chats. Now, Jen, usually we're going to be here every Monday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Jen usually leaves us with a bit of wisdom. Do you have any nuggets for us before we go today?
I sure do.
Okay.
Did you know, I did not know this until today, that John Wayne Gacy's clown name was Pogo the Clown. Did you know this?
I only know this because Jason edited that documentary. Yeah.
I knew he was a clown. I did not know his name was Pogo the Clown. It just brought a whole new level of disturbing to it.
Pogo is not a name.
Pogo, no. It's very bad. Very upsetting.
If anyone's dog is named Pogo, Jen already apologizes.
I'm sorry. Well, it's not a killer clown.
That's true.
It could be a dog name.
Yeah.
Anyway, go to bed with that tonight.
Yeah. Well,
good luck.
Thanks for the nightmares, Jen. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.